Morning all. Just a quick call stream thing today. It's interesting I use the word call there. I suppose that's because we do so much online video calls now that whenever I'm talking to the camera, obviously I'm on a call. However, that's not the case today. What I thought I would do is very quickly, because I haven't got a lot of time this morning, do a release of Rodeo, my Flickr upload in system, because I used and needed the feature I wrote last week, and it's not in the official release, and I thought, well, maybe other people would like that. And it's a little bit tedious to run the development version rather than the one on my path, because one on my path is always a release version. So I was using it yesterday, or the day before yesterday, something like that, and it was a bit of a pain. So I thought, let's get a release done. So let's have a look at where we are and go from there. So this is Rodeo's project. As you can see, there's not a lot going on at the moment. What we have is an open pull release, support dry run for upload command, which is a thing I wrote on the last stream. And you can see when I open it, it fixes 10, it allows you to see what Rodeo will do without actually doing it, which is quite a useful feature. So let's get that into main, and then we can do a release. So that's the general plan for today. So let's start item, here we are. So I need to change back to main. Check out main, and there's main, and then I can merge that branch. Its name I've already forgotten, but fortunately I don't need to remember it because I can just hit hyphen and it'll pick it up for me. Hopefully. There we go, 10 dry run. And the way I normally do these is I just put the number it's closing, and this is closing 12. It's fixes 10. So they're into the actual commit log within the merge commit. So in Git we can see what happened, and I think can be quite helpful. So let's do that. And that changes now in main. So if I git push that, to push it up. We've done that, and now if we go back to Rodeo's GitHub thing, we can see it's been merged. Pull requests. Funny how it does the merge, but doesn't update the badge on pull requests. You can see we've now got them all closed. Okay, however, so if I type rodeo dash version. Come on, Rob, spell it correctly. We're on 0.004, so this is clearly going to be 005. So let's update the version number in Rodeo's source code. So if I do a search for 0.04, 5.4, 3. No, we stored the version number. 0.03, no, 0.04. Oh, let's take the file mask off. It's probably in root. Which is a file, not a symbol. Oh, look at that, it's set to 0.1. So clearly my plan is that the next release will be 0.1, not 0.04. Like a bit of tea, I think. Okay, well that kind of makes sense, I suppose. We could go to 0.1. Is this a good point to go to 0.1? I mean, it's not like I've done anything with this particular release, other than adding dry run. What's on the issues list? Restore deleted keywords to file after upload. Do we want that in the 0.1? I mean, We're obviously clearly pre 1.0, so it doesn't really matter what we call the version number. So I don't know, did I create a milestone? I have got a milestone for this. Milestone is set to 0.2. That's a little bit unhelpful. So what's the release set to? I think it's 0.04, but I suppose we should check that. Yeah. Oh no, we did do a release of 0.1. I clearly haven't picked up 0.1 yet. Ooh, that's interesting. In that case, this is either a 0.2 or a 0.11. I don't know what to do at this point, as you can tell by my humming. I'm tempted to do at this point. Do a 0.11 because I'd like this in my radio, and then actually plan a 0.2 and actually put some features in it. Let's say 0.2 for sort of real features, because 0.2 is just a tiny little thing. 0.01. So yeah, see, 0.03 was the last one. So I wonder if I got a 0.04. Where did that come from? Yeah, 0.1 had quite a lot of important features in it, like that uploaded photos. So dry run is quite important. And we'll actually do that as a 0.11, I think. Okay, so that's a decision. Let's do this as a 0.11. 0.1.1, like that. Which means that we need to do a pull release for that. Git checkout -b. Version update version to 0.1.1. Get add dot get commit -b. Typing faster than it can keep up. See, there's the one change. Actually, before we actually commit it, let's actually do a go run main.go -- version and check we actually get a 0.001. I mean, I'm pretty confident because clearly the a string change like that isn't going to break anything, is it? Let's face it. Good morning, Felis. How are you today? Finished your daily? You had a week off? A week of not going into work or something? Maybe that's over now? I'm rambling because I don't know what to do. That's the whole point of the stream. The stream is very much you following along with me talking out loud. Definitely not a case of a production level presentation or anything like that. Still on holiday. Felis is still on holiday. How awesome is that? Mildly jealous in some ways. Today is the first day of my youngest going to college. He's old enough now that he's going to his sixth form. So today is the first day of sixth form college. Scary times. I can't quite believe I'm old enough to have two kids out of school. I mean, they're both old enough now that they're no longer in school, which is amazing. And Felis is still in Amsterdam, so it's an hour ahead where you are. So that's what, 9:30? And you're on a stream rather than holidaying. I suppose you might be thinking about packing or something like that, trying to procrastinate by watching or listening to me. So yeah, eldest is at university. He's up in Liverpool at the moment, and youngest has just gone to college. So I don't know. Feels a little bit more like normal, I suppose, after the long 2020 so far. Scary. Anyway, go run main go version has correctly set version to 0.11, so I can commit that, not by doing that. Git commit -v, insert update version number to 0.1.1. And then I can git push -u to tie this local branch to the remote branch. On origin, update version to 0.01, and that will create my branch. Then I can create the pull request against main. Still using hub. I should get into GH, but I haven't really got my head around how that works. I quite like hub because it fills in the pull request text for me, like that. And now we've got our, what's that? That's our pull request, pull 13. And there it is, pull 13, update to version 1.1. Quick check, it's actually what we think it should be. There's absolutely no CI on this project yet. I think I'm going to have to do some CI stuff, which means I say some CI stuff. What I actually mean is I should be doing unit tests. I should be doing tests. I should be doing running Go format and things like that before I do my pull requests. And I'm never that organized, so practically we need a CI tool to actually do that for me. I'd also like to update the CI system so that when I create a new tag, it automatically does the release binaries for me. There's a whole load of stuff I could be doing here, which I'll probably get to at some point. But not today. Today I just want 0.1.1 out so that I can have --dry run in my release version of Rodeo. But that pull request looks okay, so we can commit it. Git checkout main, git merge, and that's going to close 13, isn't it? Closes #13. And then we can, let's write that, there we go. Something wrong with the position of my keyboard. I'm looking down it because I'm not typing correctly today. Git push. And that should close our PR off for us. Watch it close, it's closed, well done. Go back to the home page. And no more pull requests. Git branch -d, we can delete that one. And we can actually delete that dry run branch as well, can't we? Branch -d, that was 10 dry run. So now I can tag, sign it as 0.01, no, 0.1.1. Get the tag right. Oh, I haven't got my change release. Doing things too fast, drop. Close that down, no tag message. Change log generator. Not for RST to PDF, this is for user Acrobat. Rodeo, and now we need a milestone number. We haven't got a milestone number because we've not done all the work on GitHub for that. So let's go and do that now. So have I got any milestones? Let's have a look. Where's milestones? There's milestones. 0.2. We're not doing 2, we're going to do 0.1.1. So let's edit this. And this is going to be milestone 0.1.1. And then let's go to pull requests. LD. And the pull request that we actually changed. And why didn't that work? LD, those pull requests. The dry run support one needs to be assigned to a milestone down here. And we're going to be 1.11. So now it's actually got a milestone, which is good. don't technically need to assign the update version number to to the milestone, because I don't particularly care about that in terms of the change release notes. So now I've done that, if I go back to here, I wonder what that milestone number was. We didn't check that, did we? Milestone number is, if you look in, is milestone 2 if you look in the URL. So milestone 2, and you see changelog generator generates a nice little piece of a little string there. Total issue resolved 1-12 support for dry dry. It's a nice little link telling me, and it says who did it, which is thanks track. So I like to put that into my commit messages and into the release notes so that people see, or we could also include in me, which work has been done for a given release. So now we can do that git tag. No, we can't. I haven't copied that. So let's pipe that through pb copy, which saves it to my clipboard. Or because this is a Mac, we call it the pasteboard for some reason. So now it's on my pasteboard. Now I can do my git tag, paste my text in. GitHub doesn't like the Git theme, I suppose, for Vim doesn't like me not having a blank line on after the first line of my commit message, because there's a definite convention within Git that the first line is treated like a subject, and then there's a blank line, and subsequent lines are used for the further information about this particular commit. Because this is a tag, I don't really do it the same way. But I will put the line in because I hate seeing that red background. But this isn't really a title, Total Issues Resolved 1. It's more an aid and memoir for us when we look at this tag in Git later. So now I've got that tag, I can push it, git push -- follow tags, I think will do that for me. Doing something at least. Now let's new tag, so let's go back to GitHub, and we need to get to the releases tag, releases page. Stuff is never where you expect it to be in this new interface, or I don't know. I just seem to be moving around a lot, and there we go. There's my new tag, but it's not actually a release yet. So let's turn that into a release. We click the draft new release button, and then the tag version. Oh, there's a lot of tabbing to get through to the right place. There we go, 0.1.1. And GitHub's correctly detected that this is an already known tag. I use the same release number, tag number, version number to be the release name so that everything is nice and consistent. And then we've got to describe our release, in which case we'll paste in the text that we had from the changelog generator. Let's go down, then we can publish this release, JA. And now we have a published release. Oh, that's interesting. We don't have a published release. Let's press JA, not JS. Now it's publishing it. There we go. Now I've got a published release. You notice that there's no assets yet. So it's just the source code, there's not actually the binaries. Whereas if we go to the previous tag, which was 0.1, also no, oh, hang on, that will work. Tag 0.1. There we go, 0.1. You'll see we've got all the binaries. So I'm now going to build the binaries on my Mac and then upload them to the 1.1 tag. And this is kind of where I'd like to do some more automation. So let's flip to Goland again, because I've forgotten how to do this. I think I've got a script for it. Should write some docs called release process or something like that. I don't think I've got any in the README. I really don't need to do this. Yeah, that's all useful information about how to use Rodeo. but nothing about how to actually release it. So yeah, I need some developer docs in here at some point, but not today. So how should we do that? I think we have a script. There we go, build executables. Build executables makes a directory called release, and then it iterates over a list of platforms and does stuff. So I guess that we have a list of platforms here. There we go. So we go build Darwin AMD 64. I wonder if we can build Darwin ARM yet. That would be remarkably cool. We'll try that separately though. Let's get this release out first. And it takes a version number as its first parameter. I haven't even got a helpful information at the top here. There's loads of things missing on this little project. Really doing things as I want to do them. So this was in /build executables 0.1.1. Now it's building the release. So now we sit and wait for it to whir and click. It's done the macOS AMD 64. It's now doing the Linux AMD 64. I also built the ARM one for Linux in case someone's got a Raspberry Pi or something like that. But mostly because I'm blown away at how easy it is to compile from my Mac to multiple different operating systems and multiple different architectures. I think that is quite cool. The Linux one takes longer than the Mac one though, and I guess that's because it's cross-compiling. So I sit here and wait for it all to get just my inane natter as we're waiting. But yeah, a macOS ARM version would be interesting, wouldn't it? And I've got myself the DTK now, which looks like a Mac Mini, but it's got an ARM chip inside it to help me transition my Mac app, which is called Daily Jotter, over to the new Apple Silicon chips. Interesting they call it Apple Silicon and not ARM, because we all know, well, I suppose ARM is instruction set. The actual chips themselves are not made by ARM, they're made by Apple, so they've got their own Apple names. And it's a bit like AMD Ryzen's are the AMD 64 instruction set, and Intel's Core series, the i7, the i5, whatever, are AMD 64s as well. Intel, I suppose they call them x86 or x64 or something like that because they wouldn't use the word AMD. But we all know that AMD invented that 64-bit set of extensions to the i386 instruction set. So Apple probably doing the same thing. The instruction set is ARM, but the actual chip branding is their own. So in the iPhones and the iOS devices, we're up to what? A12, A13, something like that. I think we're up to A13 on the iPhones and A12Z maybe, or Z on the iPads. So everyone's guessing that A14 will be coming, but A14 is the chip. It's got an ARM processor. So presumably in the Macs, we'll do the same thing. We'll have a something number chip, which is an Apple Silicon chip with the ARM instructions. So yeah, maybe it does make sense that they call it Apple Silicon. Oh, that's interesting. We've done Linux ARM 64 twice. So clearly my list of instructions, my list of platforms is duplicating there. That is less than totally helpful. We don't really need to build it twice. Have a quick look at that list of platforms, and it's right. Look at that, Darwin, Linux. So let's get rid of one of those. We'll have to commit that as a separate PR later. There we go. I wonder what that light bulb means. Rename all occurrences. Don't think that's what I want to do. I don't usually mouse that much. I'm not sure that having a little pop-up is that useful either. Anyway, so we've wasted time, but we have gotten out a all my binaries. So if I look in executables, releases. Well, that's interesting. Oh no, that's right. Oh, wake up, Rob. That's the ARM64, not the AMD64. Oops. Oh, for goodness sake, let's put that back. Nobody told me on the chat. Hey, Rob, you're doing it wrong. So now we need to build just the ARM64 one again. And I don't want to go through all that again. So what I could do is look up how we do it. Or I could be lazy and just comment out the ones we don't need, like that, and run it again. Let's just rebuild that ARM64 one. Oh, whoa, Rob. Oh, for goodness sake. Never mind. Not completely with it today, am I? So there we go. So LS release. Let's have a look at what we've got. Oh, that's interesting. It deleted everything. So you can't do that. Oh my goodness me. Building them all again because I screwed up. And this is a point where we should have some music on the stream. I could play you some wonderful lift hold music, or some hold music, traditional hold music from a telephone. It's interesting how much faster it is this time. I wonder if that's because it's got a whole load of caching somewhere. Interesting. Maybe it had to download new versions of dependencies. Didn't have to do that the second time through. That was much faster, wasn't it? Okay, so now we've got them. Now we need to upload them to GitHub. I don't know how to do this other than via drag and dropping using my mouse, because I haven't automated this yet. So somewhere we've got Safari. Let's drag that this way. There's my assets. I think I edit the release. Quite confused. Let's go back to Rodeo. Releases. Oh, look at that. They've already been added. I really, really, really need to write some documentation, because I wonder if I actually did work out how to do that. So let's go back to that executable. Look down the bottom. I don't see anything. Do you see anything? Package name radio. Make a release. Split the platform. Build and release. No, nothing is there. I set up a GitHub action for this already. Have I actually done that work? I have, look. GitHub. There's a release folder. There's a workflow with a build release. I've done this work already. Oh, wow. My brain does not remember stuff. And this, people, is why we should document stuff. So what I'm going to do now, yes, clearly I have written all the work required to actually do the thing. Look, it checks out the code. It sets up Go. It then does a little bit of debug information. It builds the Rodeo executables. Then it lists them so that we know what they are. And it uploads them each one in turn. And I seem to remember there was no way I could do some sort of looping, so I've had to repeat it for Mac OS, Linux, AMD, ARM, ARM64, and AMD64. Oh, wow. So you know what I'm going to do now? We are going to quickly create a new document. Or not, because we've got a beach ball instead. I'm going to create a new file called release process.md. Release process. We're going to quickly write down the list of things that need to be done. So firstly, ensure milestone exists. Zone for correct. Still milestone for correct number, version number exists. 2. Assign all PRs, all those PRs for this release to the milestone. 3. Update version number in root.go, PR, and merge to main. Oh, we put full stops at the end. That's a bit neater, isn't it? So now we've got, so done that. Actually, we probably should put that there. Assign or close to this release. 4. Ensure main is clean locally. 5. Tag with new version. We do that using git tag -s version number 0.1.1. Once we've tagged, we push tag. No, we don't. That's wrong. 5. Create change log using change log generator, and that's flies, PHLY, change log generator. And what's the actual command for that? It's that one there. So let's copy that. Paste that there. That did not, maybe we have to tap twice, there we go. 6, and copy to clipboard. Tag with version and paste in changelog. Changelog one word. Anyone know if changelog is one word? I keep looking over there because that's where the chat is. It's probably why I should probably put a camera there so that you could see me looking at you when I'm actually looking at the stream chat, and I look back over here when I'm actually coding. And you know, I'm not actually looking at you properly because I'm actually concentrated on my screen. Maybe I'll move my camera. It doesn't need to move far, just about there. Thoughts? Anyone got any thoughts? Don't know. Anyway, changelog, nobody has decided whether it's got a space in it or not, so I've decided it doesn't. Right, so now we can push our tag that we've just created, push tag to GitHub. Does GitHub capital H in it? You would think GitHub itself could tell us that, wouldn't you? GitHub.com. Yeah, look at that. GitHub in the tab title, capital H. Push tag to GitHub, and we do that using git push -- follow -tags. 7. Close the milestone. and create a new one. Next one. We haven't done that yet, so let's do that whilst we think about it. Yes. Okay. So let's close that one. QD. Password is over there. We'll call this 0.2 because we don't actually know if we're going to do a 0.2 or whether we're going to do a 0.1.2. Let's assume it's a 0.2 for now. Okay, so we've closed milestone and created the next one. 6, 7, 8. Create a release. And I think I will put in the link to that, which is, because it's a pain to find, you have to go to the home page and it's in that sidebar down here. There, so it's that URL there. So let's paste that URL in. Create a new release with the tag name as the release title. Right, so if we do that, right now I'm going to create a like this. Note, this will automatically run a GitHub action that creates the binaries for this release. So now I will remember that. Automatically run a GitHub action that creates the binaries for this release. We're done. I think that's all I can think of. But yeah, very, very clearly, trying to do a release without instructions is fraught with errors and mistakes. So let's create that as a checkout -b. Alexa, cancel. Did I say her name? Its name? I don't think I did. But the box very, very clearly thought I had done. To get checkout, -b, add release process doc. Git status. GitST, incidentally, is one of the very, very few aliases I actually have on my Git config. And that comes from CVSST, which then became SVNST. And I could not get used to typing the whole word status. So I just created a Git alias for Gitster. It just does a Git status because it saves me a grand total of 4 STAT 4 whole keystrokes. Amazing. So git commit -v. Really, it's -v. Oh, I need to add first. Git commit -v. -v for verbose. It just gives you a bit more information in your editor as you're committing. So you can see further down here, line 18 or so, we've got the full thing that we're doing. So we can remember what we've done. Add release process.md. This documents the steps required in order to do a release of Rodeo. No doubt I've forgotten some stuff, so we'll have to update it again in the future. But this is a good first start. Let's push that. Git push -u origin and release process doc. And then we need to create the pull request. Use hub again and notice how it automatically fills in the information for me. I can just save that, and it looks like it's copy that. Oh, didn't do that. Copy that. Back to Safari. It's port 14. There it is. Quick look at the file itself. Let's make this window a bit bigger. Double check if I'm a quick read to check we haven't accidentally got a typo in here. Release process. Ensure milestone is correct for version exists. State version number in root.go. PR in most domain. Assign all closed PRs for this release milestone. Ensure main is clean locally. Create changelog. Changelog generator. Tag with new version. Tag to GitHub. Close the milestone. Create a release. And note it will automatically run the GitHub action. Looks good to me. I suppose we could put some more links in, like where the GitHub action is and where changelog generator is and stuff like that, but not necessarily at the moment. So I'm happy with that. So let's git checkout main and git merge add release process doc. Oops, we need to add closes 14, and then we can push it. And we can delete the add release branch when it's finished. And release process doc. There we go. So if I go back to here, that should be merged. If I go back to the code, eventually we should have a doc folder. No, not like that. We should have a doc folder, and inside that doc folder we've now got release process, which if we look should have a release process. So now we can do a release. And you kind of think we should be able to automate all that. And so, I know someone has already done that, friends of mine on the Lamnus project. I've written Lamnus automatic release, where when you close a milestone, it automatically does a whole load of stuff. And I kind of think I should leverage that at some point, but we're not there yet. So until we're there, this will do. Hey. I think we're doing pretty good. Quick look at the issues list, some stuff to do. Restore deleted keywords to file after upload. Support -- up. Oh, there's a spelling error there. Let's fix that spelling error. Edit that. Support. That's better. Support -- album ID so that you can manually add which album we want to upload to. I'd quite like to create the album at the same time if the ID doesn't exist. That'd be quite neat. Rerun rules on previously uploaded files. So at the moment, if you try to upload a file that already exists, it will ignore it. But it'd be quite neat if I add some more keywords to that file and rerun it. It adds it to the relevant album or does something like that. Also, removing from an album would be quite cool at that point. Ability to set the privacy level on an uploaded image, that would be cool. And ability to add a photo to a group, that would also be neat. I suspect that needs to be a --G or something like that, because we're unlikely. I suppose we could do it on a workflow tag. And then just delete the tag. So flickr.group.flickr central or something that uploads it to Flickr Central. Yes, we could do something like that. I quite like the whole idea of controlling everything via keywords, because you set the keyword on the folder, on the image rather, then you don't have to think about it again. Anyway, it's gone 9 o'clock. I need to go and do some work. I think that was quite useful. I've now got a release. Oh, I suppose I should actually bring that release locally and actually use it, so I shall do that later today. But I think on the whole, we've done okay. And I've done a release of Rodeo. I've also I generated binaries I did not need to do because I completely forgotten that I had a GitHub action that did it for me. So I wrote a release document because then I won't make that mistake again and everything will go that much more smoothly. Everyone, I hope you have a really good day today. Hope it goes well. Safe flight back, Fearless, if you're still on the stream. And I'll catch up with you all later.